Okay, so today's lesson we are going to be talking about the 5 pillars of power. Your 5 pillars of power is the mind, body, spirit, emotions, and finance. All right. So mind, that's mental. The body, that's physical. The spirit, that's tied to the soul. That's tied to your energy, positive versus negative. You know what I'm saying? Emotions, that's tied to energy and motion. So that's that soul, that's that spirit, that's that energy and motion. You get what I'm saying? So then we have our finances, all right? So finances, that's your currency. That's that money, all right? So I just want to start off with soul and emotions, all right? Because everything comes from the spirit into the physical realm. It's from the spirit to the mental to the physical. As above, so below. As within, so without. Star David, the law of correspondence. All right, so the soul, right? The soul has to cross the emotional bridge to get to the physical body. You get what I'm saying? So let's just look at it like this. The soul comes from the spirit. It crosses this emotional bridge, energy, and the spirit in motion. You get what I'm saying? Up and down, frequency, oscillation. You know what I'm saying? Into the physical, to the physical body. So it oscillates an emotion out of you. You get what I'm saying? So like right now, the emotion, I would say my baseline emotion right now is structure and flow tied to being oscillating within presence, acceptance of this very moment, being present, doing what I'm doing right now in this structure, in this flow. That 600, it's gonna get done. It's going to manifest. It's already done. You get what I'm saying? So, all right. So this soul, spirit, energy tied to emotions. So the soul crosses the emotional bridge to get to the physical body. The spirit is tied to energy, which is positive versus negative, through the mind. You get what I'm saying? So that's how we determine what's positive versus negative, and then we manifest that into the physical. We move it. We do that in the physical world of what we think in our mind is positive versus negative. So we just went through the soul, emotions, the mind to the body. So, and at the same time, not even just the body, into the finances as well, because we have to know certain aspects of finances to move correctly in manifesting a particular amount of finances or currency so we can do whatever we want to do with it, right? So now, let's jump it off. That's that. So now let's do it like this. The mind. So how do we elevate our mental, or how do we elevate our 5 pillars of power? So we're looking to create wealth. All right. So remember, wealth is health. So that means healthy mind, healthy body, healthy spirit, healthy emotions, which is positive emotions will be healthy in comparison with negative emotions. High vibrational is positive in correlation with low vibrational states. You get what I'm saying? Finances. How should you be moving with your money? You get what I'm saying? Like living below your means, multiple sources of income, savings, investings, return on investments, time allocation, consolidation. You get what I'm saying? All this is tied into financial literacy and understanding. And then we got our code, the KUW, cool. That's your knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Cool. So you want to make sure you have knowledge, then you gain understanding from that knowledge, you gain wisdom of that understanding. That's a lesson for another day, because to get from one step to the next, it takes research, experience, other people's experience, or mentorship to get from knowledge to understanding, understanding to wisdom. And it cycles back around. You can have wisdom and then gain deeper levels of knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. 369, as above, so below, as within, so without. All right, so when we're talking about the mind, we're talking about education. What is proper education? So we want to make sure that we have all the aspects we need of proper education mentally, right? Mindset. What type of mindset are we operating from as a God, as a generator, operator, and destroyer? Are we destroying negative thoughts? Are we manifesting more negative thoughts? Because we gotta understand that our mind is tied to our emotions in ways, and we have an addictive nature. So when we do something, when we're in a flow, when we get a structure, we get in the flow of doing that. We practice makes perfect for good or bad, as above, so below. You know what I'm saying? So now through your mind, you have to ask yourself what's good versus what's bad. So if this is bad for me, am I using it as a coping mechanism, mentally speaking, so I can say disconnected from my emotions? You see what I'm saying? Everything's in correlation with each other. Or am I using this in a positive way? You know what I'm saying? So I can overcome negative aspects of my emotions, or I can overcome and manifest things in which I desire, mentally speaking and emotionally, right? because your emotions are also tied to a level of spirit, a level of energy. You get what I'm saying? So we don't want to stay stuck in desire. We want to have the courage to manifest, to move properly with effort and structure and flow, being present, acceptance, tolerating what we gotta do for truth, for good reason 400 frequency, good versus bad, reasoning. You get what I'm saying? So all manifested through the mind into the physical. So mindset, belief system, belief versus doubt, what you believe versus what you doubt, and why, who, what, when, where, and why. You know what I'm saying? All tied to that. Your cool, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. Mental transmutation, how to transmute these thoughts mentally, how to help us transmute our emotions alchemically. You know what I'm saying? Turning that lead into gold. You get what I'm saying? That's alchemy for you right there. Mental transmutation, dualities. Which dualities are good and corresponding to my good emotions, to my good mindset. You see what I'm saying? As above, so below. The law of correspondence, everything corresponds. So dualities. Mind power, understanding how to utilize mind power. Mindset mastery, you know what I'm saying? Master of the mind, you get what I'm saying? On the 369, on the surface, on the deep, and on the cosmic levels of awareness, you get what I'm saying? 369, you know what I'm saying? So knowing that the mind is the greatest tool and weapon on the planet, because we manifest everything through our mind, through our level of consciousness, which is God, for good or bad. That's God. You know what I'm saying? So you just got to make sure that you walking in alignment with through your perspective of what's good and what's God, in correlation with what's bad and what's the adversary of God, from your perspective, in your reality of your illusion. You know what I'm saying? As an individual, personal relationship with the Most High, or as an individual part of an organization in their organization's personal relationship with the Most High, or not. You get what I'm saying? And for good or bad, for each one, to each thy own. You get what I'm saying? So somebody's good could be somebody's bad, somebody's bad could be somebody's good. All of this is in correlation with each other. So body, physical education, knowing how many steps should you get every day, what you should be eating every day, all of your inputs. You get what I'm saying? What are you putting into your mind, body, and spirit? You get what I'm saying? Inputs. You see what I'm saying? As above, so below. As within, so without. More Star David, more 369. You get what I'm saying? Because it's within everything. That's God's law. It's gonna be in everything. So physical education, proper intelligence of proper education. You know what I'm saying? Physical health. Health is wealth. You know what I'm saying? So we want to make sure that we are putting abundance into our physical vessel as well, because it's as within, so without. You know what I'm saying? It's going to manifest into our mind, into our heart coherency, into our nervous system, into other aspects of us, like our emotions, which manifest into other aspects of impulse, reaction versus response. You know what I'm saying? With the decisions we make in life. For our behavioral science and our psychology, tied into our psyche, and the stimuli that we surround ourselves with, for good or bad, tied into the dualities of love versus fear, being present versus moving in anxiety, for what reason. You know what I'm saying? Slow it down, rewind it. It's gonna make sense. So exercise, like I think we said that, and then the knowledge, understanding, and wisdom of the physical vessel, and why we do certain things. You know what I'm saying? And how often we should do that within our organized approach to living life. You get what I'm saying? Because being organized has more structure to it, and it keeps less stress from us, which is tied to our health, and health is wealth. As above, so below. So we gotta be healthy in this department to manifest health in this department, because we're gonna do it consciously with God. You get what I'm saying? We didn't get lucky. The stars, it wasn't just because the stars was aligned a certain type of way. No, we manifested as conscious manifestors, because we are children of the Most High, and we have that right to do that through our inheritance with consciousness. You get what I'm saying? With energy, with the Most High. Abundance. You know what I'm saying? Abundance versus lack. That's duality. Or wealth versus scarcity. Abundance versus scarcity. Wealth versus lack. Rich versus poor. Mindset, mind, body, and spirit. Finances and emotions. Rich versus poor. You get what I'm saying? As well, so below. In your good book, in your physicality, in all of your reality. It's like a rap song, right? It's like, so anyways, finances. I think I bust down some finances stuff. Let's just keep pushing on. So soul, spirit, energy. Spiritual education, proper intelligence, spiritual health, positive versus negative energy. Your spiritual health, like what you see, because it's all energy. You get what I'm saying? So that's what you need to know. If your energy is tied to the spirit, and spirit is energy, then that means that you want to be putting Like cleanliness is next to godliness. Cleanliness is tied to good energy through your psyche. That's tied to the collective psyche. That's tied to the omnipresent mind of God through your perspective. You see what I'm saying? Not saying that dirty is bad, but dirty and clutter is bad in connection with what clean and no clutter is in your reality. That because you're connected, because you're in this system, tied into this spiritual realm. You know what I'm saying? Like simulation of tied into this spiritual energy collectively with other beings that's tied into your psyche because of your telepathy and your electromagnetism that we all have through our subconscious mind, that we all in connection with each other for good or bad. It manifests, and that's God through duality and of the all is mind, and its ripple effects and trajectories of many proportions, unfathomable proportions, but it's all cause and effect. It is what it is. So you want to make sure that your trajectory is headed in the right direction based on the energy of what you put in and what you putting out. Your spiritual health, you know what I'm saying? Karmic debt, you know what I'm saying? Or karmic compensation, a law of compensation, you see what I'm saying? From your spiritual health, accountability versus validation. Let your accountability be the validation and let it manifest. But if you're choosing validation, then you gotten your reward. And that same reward has a duality, punishment. Now because that's your reward, that's also your punishment, so you don't get no more. What you produce, what you put out, what you get back. Or vice versa, because it manifests through your mind as well. But you need to know the deeper levels of understanding these things of what you really want, what you really getting out of it. And that's what that is. It manifests regardless. Sometimes that punishment leads to greater reward. You know what I'm saying? We call that the suffering, the pain and the suffering. That leads to the abundance, into the dark to get to the light. See, it's unfathomable, these truths, you know what I'm saying? But it's also, although it's complex, it's also simple. Simple versus complex. It can be simple in one way and complex in another way. But you can also find that simplicity within a complexity, within another simplicity, within another complexity, and balance of expanding consciousness, which is God, infinite intelligence. So, emotions, energy and motion, right? Energy and motion. We just spoke about that. That is your spirit or your soul crossing that bridge in motion, frequency oscillation. It's oscillating at at the speed of light. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't. It's just like boom. I'm mad. I'm sad. I'm happy. I'm glad. That quicker than that. You know what I'm saying? Mind power, mental transmutation. And if you trust yourself, you control yourself, self-control, having a willpower, boom, applying effort to do the right thing, because it's right equals righteous. With that understanding, see these mental constructs that manifest into the physical flawlessly, flawless victory, for sure. So, but we enter the dark to get to the light. But we had gratitude for that. You know what I'm saying? And we for intelligence of knowing how far to go and how far not to go. You get what I'm saying? Because we don't operate from confusion. We operate from understanding. And when we enter into that spectrum of confusion, maybe we need to slow down and get back to a little bit of understanding before we keep pushing forward, because we don't want to go somewhere where we might hit our head against a brick wall. Even though we know we're intelligent enough to keep pushing, we also don't want to take risks that's not worth the reward. You know what I'm saying? Time matters. Serious versus goofy. Are you being goofy? Are you being serious, doing the right thing? Are you self-sabotaging, or are you embracing the darkness to get to the light? As above, so below. It's on you to figure that out, not me. So, emotions, that's energy and motion. It's all in correlation. Like I said, I think I'm kind of losing myself for the rap song, So, alchemical attraction. Alchemical attraction, because you attract that which you are, not what you want, what you are. You know what I'm saying? So now once you know how to be that which you are, you alchemically attracting that. Like they call it the laws of attraction, but everything's that's secondary in comparison to the law of vibration. You can thank Bob Proctor for giving me that game. You know what I'm saying? Spirit guide, one of my spirit guides, into the truth. You know what I'm saying? I am grateful. Chemical attraction, emotional intelligence, you know what I'm saying? Knowing about your emotions. So the fact that you can be emotionally intelligent with knowledge of self, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom of self, of your emotion or intelligence, now you know about everybody else too, as within, so without. See how that work? Got to put in the work. You get what I'm saying? And it manifests. Now you know. Now you can move with compassion instead of judging everybody else because you see what's really going on or not. We don't walk in confusion. You know what I'm saying? Leave it to God. Do what you can, not what you can't. Can versus can't. Another duality, more duality within the construct of my mental framework. So, correlation with frequencies and vibrations. Emotions are vibrations that live on a frequency, and those frequencies are tied to energy levels that oscillate from I think 20 to 700. You know what I'm saying? So really from 0 to 700 and above, it's even more out there to be gained. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna stay within that systematic approach of understanding, so we can keep it simple. It ain't gotta get too complex. You see what I'm saying? That's God right there. He got you. That's consciousness. That's the awareness. You know what I'm saying? So, alchemy, turning that lead into gold, like I said, in correlation with frequencies and vibrations. You know, higher vibrations and frequencies will be that gold. Them lower vibrations and frequencies, that's that lead, that's stagnant. We're trying to get into that flow of what's good, what's positive. Do you feel me? So we can manifest. Stay blessed, not cursed. You know what I'm saying? It's all duality. So, empowerment versus disempowerment. High vibrational empowerment versus low vibrational disempowerment. Walk in power, walk in that light. The truth versus the lie, walk in the truth. So, strong versus weak. Love is strength. Fear, that's weak. While moving anxiety. Now you gotta cope, you know what I'm saying? Now you gotta cope. So you can be disconnected from yourself in a negative way. And we ain't doing that. We don't stay disconnected from ourselves in negative ways. We're gonna connect with ourselves so we can be positive and we can overcome with resilience, going through that forge into the fire so we can sharpen that sword so we can kill some enemies. You know, excuse my language. Not even, but you get what I'm saying, because the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and we gotta slaughter, you know what I'm saying? Like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you know what I'm saying? We kill energy vampires. That's what we do. My bad. Like I got to, but anyways, finances and currency, financial intelligence and literacy. All right. So we want to make sure we know. We want to make sure we know how to get to that bag correctly, righteously. You know what I'm saying? We got the parable of the talents in the good book. You know what I'm saying? Go read the parable of the talents. How does that parable? What does that parable tell you? The fact it's called a parable of the talents, so that you know that the Bible is full of parables. And that's a good one for you to read. Talents. Talents. The parable of the talents. Teach you what to do with that money, how to do it. In correlation with a whole bunch of other business laws and strategies and systems and marketing, consolidations and allocations, laws and rules, unity versus division when it comes to manifesting, focus versus distractions, alignment versus misalignment. All of it manifests within game theory. Within the theory of life is a game, the game called life, you know what I'm saying? Reality versus delusion, you know what I'm saying? Because this is the delusion, this is the reality. You manifest the delusion into the reality, make it happen. Can you do it collectively? Can you walk in that much power, manifest and be a true manifester as a God, generator, operator, and destroyer from a place of understanding, not confusion? Can you do it? Can versus can't? What can you do? How much energy do you got? How focused are you? You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Do you believe? Believe versus doubt. Can you believe in miracles? How far are you willing to go? How far are you willing with your willpower to put forth effort to go? Practice makes perfect. How long can you believe? How much can you believe in? How far can you take it? Can you stay within the constructs of sanity? You get what I'm saying? Within reality. You don't want to step outside into insanity, because as long as you stay within insanity now, it can manifest into the collective and it can resonate with you. You don't want to not resonate, because then you lose power, because it's power within unity, so you don't want to be divided. As above, so below, as within, so without. Correspondence to the truth of what you're choosing to manifest. All truths. That's all God. So, game theory, right? So the game called life operates within game theory concepts, simple versus complex. The deeper levels of knowledge, understanding, and wisdom are simpler and balanced to even deeper levels of complexity. Like I said, presence, love, moving in love, it's the law of love, moving in presence. It's always in integration, always and consistently in integration. know that. Shadow versus higher self, always in consistency of integrating back towards the shadow or integrating towards the higher self. Always, even once you reach the full higher self, you have a higher self to the higher self, right? So that makes the old self, the shadow self, to the new self, which is old self to a newer self, you know what I'm saying? And it just keep going, expanding in consciousness, because that's God, that's infinite intelligence manifesting for what's perfect to you from your perspective. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say it's got to be tied to your soul, right? Because your soul and your spirit, your soul is also tied to your morals and values through your mind. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want to be operating in shame because it went against your morals and values. So it puts you into a low vibrational state of lack and cloudiness and confusion. Don't do that to yourself. We don't do that. We move a certain way for good reason, tied to our morals and values, tied to our soul, so we can cross that emotional bridge into the physical, walking in power consistently with structure and flow, protecting that peace. There we go. 5 pillars of power. I shake.